Alrighty, so here we go, boys and girls. It's that time of the year again where the most important game of the season is about to happen. MLS Cup 2023. And in this year's edition of MLS Cup, we have the Columbus Crew versus LAFC. And by the way, before I get to this game, it's hard to believe that this season has been flown by. I mean, despite the fact that I know there's been a lot of people have been talking about this playoff format to be never ending, and that we'll definitely have maybe more discussion about that after the season, or even in a video that I'll talk about the state of the union address that the commissioner Don Gabber just addressed this afternoon. One thing for sure is that this season has flown by with just so many games that has happened both in the Leeds Cup and also in MLS play. But nevertheless, it has led to this moment where we have the Columbus Crew versus LAFC. One team is looking to try to defend their champion and trying to become the first back-to-back winner of MLS Cup since the 11 and 12 Galaxy that did it 11 years ago. And then one team is also looking to trying to win their second MLS Cup in just 4 seasons. Now, in terms of the all-time meeting, it's actually a 3-0-0 all-time meeting in favor of LAFC. So LAFC have won every single meeting against the Columbus Crew. In fact, Columbus not only have not beaten LAFC, they have not scored a goal against LAFC. In terms of the all-time meeting, LAFC was able to win 2-0 against Columbus before LAFC won 3-0 on the road against Columbus, and LAFC won 2-0 against Columbus in the first ever meeting. Now, in terms of road to MLS Cup in the playoffs, I already did a video about that, but in case you didn't watch that video, which you probably should do, I'll just give you a quick refresher of how they got to the road to MLS Cup for the playoffs. For Columbus, they had to go in a 3-game series in a very highly entertaining 3-game series in round one against Atlanta United. They won 2-0 in the first game, lost 4-2 in the second game, but they did win 4-2 in the third game. In the conference semifinal, they were able to win against Orlando City 2-0 after extra time. And in the conference final, they also won in extra time against their Hell is Real rival FC Cincinnati in the Hell is Real Derby with a 3-2 row win in extra time. Now, for LAFC, in their first round, they won 5-2 against the Vancouver Whitecaps in Game 1, and they won 1-0 on the road for Game 2. In the conference semifinal, they beat the other Cascadia team, the Seattle Sounders, winning 1-0 on the road. And then in the conference final against the Houston Dynamo, it was a relatively easy dispatch of them as they were cruised their way to a 2-0 win, and therefore cruised themselves to another MLS Cup appearance. Now, top goal scorer so far this year, and this includes the playoffs too. Cucho Hernandez currently have 16 goals, followed by Christian Ramirez. Actually, now has 8 goals. Again, Christian Ramirez has really been big for the Columbus Crew, especially in the last two games. Both times scoring the winning goal of the game in extra time. Whereas for Aiden Morris, 4 goals. Jason Russell with 4 goals, and then Multi Emerson rounds up the top 5 with 3 goals. For LAFC, Denise Bowanga still tops the chart with 20 goals. So far, Carlos Vela is actually second on the list with 9 goals. So despite the fact that there are talk with the fact that Carlos Vela is kind of washed up a little bit, he's still the second top goal scorer on this team. Followed by Ryan Hollinshead with 4 goals, Timothy Tillman with 4 goals, and Stepan Buke with 3 goals. Top assist leader, Cucho Hernandez leads the team with 11 assists, followed by Alexander Matan with 11 assists. Aiden Morris with 7 assists, Mo Farsi with 5 assists, and then rounds up the top 5, Steven Moreira also with 5 assists. For LAFC, again, a lot of people might be surprised by this, but Carlos Vela still leads the team in terms of the assist chart. 12 assists so far this season, followed by Denise Bowanga with 7 assists, Mateus Bogusz with 4 assists, Elias Sanchez with 3 assists, and then Giorgino Chiellini rounds up the top 5 with 2 assists for LAFC. So, let's talk about the storyline, because there is definitely some interesting storyline coming into this, and unfortunately I had to put only 5 of them because I actually ran out of space when I was thinking about making 10 big storyline coming into this. Well, the first big storyline for LAFC is they're looking to become the first MLS team to go back to back since the 2011-2012 Galaxy that did it. They're looking to try to do something their intercity rival did over a decade ago. Whereas for the Columbus Crew, again, not only the fact that they're looking to win their second MLS Cup in 4 years and winning it once again in Columbus, but they're looking to beat LAFC and actually score against LAFC for the first time, because not only they have never beaten LAFC, they have never scored against LAFC. And honestly, something's gonna have to give with them if they want to win MLS Cup. They're gonna have to score in this game, or they can take the Seattle Sounder route, which is decided to not score in a game and just win in a PK shootout. Uh, like they did in 2016. Didn't think that I would bring up a Seattle Sounders reference in terms of past MLS Cup. I mean, this is MLS Cup. I'm gonna, of course, bring some past reference. Also, apologies to Toronto FC fans that are watching this. I'm pretty sure they don't want to remember what happened in 2016. But the other key points coming this, again, the tactical standpoints in terms of this game is really just the high octane kind of Nancy ball style that Columbus likes to run against this LAFC lethal transitional attack. So there's no doubt that Columbus is going to dominate the possession. But the big question is that can they able to break through this LAFC back line, which this LAFC back line has been great so far in the playoffs. I mean, they have not given up a goal ever since game one against the Vancouver Whitecaps. And well, this Columbus team does have a relatively good attack. I mean, throughout this playoffs, their attack has been really good. They've been by far the better team in these last couple of playoff matchup. Problem is that when you face the likes of LAFC, that's just kind of plays in their favorites. I mean, they want you to have the possession, they want you to try to go at them, and then if you make mistakes at the back, which we have seen Columbus have done at times in this playoffs, they're gonna get punished. So yeah, this is gonna be interesting to see how it's gonna go, and I would say that this is gonna be one of those kind of matchup where it's kind of relatively straightforward of what's gonna happen. You usually don't see that happen in these MLS Cup or even in a playoff matchup, but this is pretty straightforward with the way that it's pretty clear that Wilfred Nancy is going to stick with this. I would be really surprised if Wilfred Nancy decided to abandon this style, because he's said it before that he is live and die in terms of the style. He wants to play this high octane kind of style. He wants to push man forward and try to overwhelm this LAFC back line. Whereas for LAFC, they're perfectly fine by saying, well, so be it. Be our guest in terms of trying to overwhelm our back line, because if you make a mistake in the defensive end, we're gonna try to counter you, and we have some dangerous weapons on the transitional play too. So yeah, again, I think this is probably one of the more straightforward kind of MLS Cup that I've seen in terms of the tactical standpoint. But that also being said, I do think that this game could be a game where I won't be surprised there could be some goals that could be found in this game, similar to what we saw last season. I mean, I know whenever you see like a big game like this, there's usually not a lot of goals, but yeah, that might be not the case with the way that both of these attack has been really in syncs throughout this this MLS Cup playoffs. And then the four big storyline, and this might sound like a bit of a cliche, but it's kind of is the case for all these big games like this. Which star player will step up, and which unsung hero will be this year MLS Cup? So last year, in terms of the unsung hero, I mean, you could say Gareth Bale might be an unsung hero of scoring a header to send that one into a PK shootout. Though everybody know who the true unsung hero last year was for LAFC. It's got to be John McCarthy. I mean, nobody would have expected John McCarthy, who didn't even play a lot for LAFC, and that he has to just frustrate in after Maxime Crepeau not only broke his leg, but also got sent off in that game against the Union. That he would be the unsung hero in terms of the PK shootout. We've seen this so many times where there would be some guy that you don't expect him to be the unsung hero, and then he steps up in a big way. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see who's gonna be the unsung hero, but also which star player is gonna step up for LAFC. Is Denise Mwanga going to terrorize this Columbus Crew defense? And I expect that it could be the case, because again, if the Crew is not careful in terms of their possession, gave the ball away, Denise Mwanga is going to go the other way. He's probably going to score the goal. But that being said, the other big storyline in terms of stars coming into this game is Diego Rossi facing against his former team. You would never have expected that this would be an interesting storyline. And I actually didn't put this in the storyline because I kind of ran out of Rome. But Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see Diego Rossi facing against his former team. I mean, I'm pretty sure LAFC fans still love Diego Rossi, and I don't think they were expecting a couple of years later after they decided to sell Diego Rossi off to Europe that they will be meeting him again, especially in an MLS Cup like that. But it'll be interesting to see how he's going to do against his former team, and if he does score against his former team. I mean, I know there's the unwritten rule that when you score against your former team, you probably shouldn't celebrate. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if that is gonna be the case. But also, when you look at the star player, it's gotta be Cucho Hernandez. Can Cucho Hernandez have a Lucas Zarian kind of moment? Lucas Zarian really announced himself in that MLS Cup win against the Seattle Sounders back in 2020, and we'll see whether or not if Cucho can do the same thing. And then also when you look at the unsung hero list. I mean, there's definitely a lot of notable unsung heroes that could come up to play. Christian Ramirez. I mean, I don't know if you could call Superman an unsung hero because he has done it so many times throughout this playoffs. But before that, Christian Ramirez, he's been okay with Columbus, but not a guy that you would expect him to be the guy that scored those crucial goals for the Crew. And then when you look at this LAFC team, I would not be surprised if Ryan's Holland heads would be an unsung hero. In fact, I would not be surprised with the way that LAFC this season. I know Denise Bouanga has scored the goals for this team, but there's also been a long list of contributor in terms of goal scoring, and that it also just kind of a testament to how good the depth is for LAFC this season. I would not be surprised if any of those depth players and all those players that you wouldn't expect them to be the guy that scored the goal. And oh, look at that. They score the crucial goal that could win the MLS Cup for LAFC. And then last but not least, one thing that is also a big storyline is in this MLS Cup is that home team has been heavily favored in terms of MLS Cup. In fact, they have won the 5 out of the last 6 MLS Cup, with NYCFC only being the only road team to win MLS Cup since 2017. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. For LAFC, they're gonna be once again up against it, and especially the other thing I will say about LAFC this season, this is the third final that they're in this year. This is the third final, mainly because they lost that CONCACAF Champions League final against Leon, and then they lost in the Campeones Cup against Tigres. So that deep in their mind they really want to make amends of that, and that they would also say that maybe third time is the charm. Maybe this is going to be the time where they're going to finally overcome their demons this season of failing in the final no hurdle. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see whether they can do so. But they're facing against a Columbus team that, again, not only the fact the home team has been heavily favorites in MLS Cup, and it's not a big surprise because the home crowd is definitely going to give the energy to the home team, but also Columbus has been a really good home team this season. In fact, they have been unbeaten in the last 6 games at home. Lower.com field is just an absolute fortress this season, so it's not going to be easy for LAFC to just walk in and expect to get an easy 3 points. And especially this year, it's kind of the opposite now. Last year they were able to get the benefit with the home crowd behind them. Now let's see whether or not if this year it will be definitely more challenging, that now they're the one that has to go on the road to and have to face in a hostile environment and see if they can win a second consecutive MLS Cup, which, like I said, that has not happened since the Galaxy did it in 2011 and 2012. And Seattle did try to do so a couple of years ago against the same Columbus team, trying to win back to back. Didn't quite do so. So yeah, overall, let me know in the comments below. What do you think of this game? I'm not gonna make a prediction in terms of what's gonna happen in this game, and also who's gonna win MLS Cup, because as soon as I make a prediction, I'm guaranteed there's gonna be both fan base will be mad at me by saying, "Oh, you basically just jinxed us." So best for me to not make a prediction of this game. But let me know in the comments below your prediction of who's gonna win MLS Cup 2023. Is it gonna be the Columbus Crew, or is it going to be the defending MLS Cup champion LAFC defending their MLS crown? But yeah, let me know in the comments below. But until then, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys leave a like, smash the subscribe button, and yeah, I of course will see you guys next time.